Hi, we're the Huge Movie Fanatics here to review Star Trek 2009, J.J. Abrams' epic, which I can definitively say is the best Star Wars movie that I saw since the original series.
That was like a joke, or
yeah,
what?
it's a joke.
Because it's a Star.
This is Star Trek, but follow this.
Jake.
It's tell me. I'm going to describe to you this movie and tell me which one it is.
Star Wars.
A blonde-haired, blue-eyed farm boy goes up into the stars to chase the dreams of his dead father and live into his footsteps. Well, there's a planet-destroying machine that's going around the galaxy, destroying whole planets. There's a bar that filled with crazy kooky aliens. There's the man is stranded on like this desolate planet and encounters an old man who guides him, knowing his father from the past.
Holy fuck! I never even did those parallels.
This is Star Wars, but
this is the first remake of Star Wars.
yeah, this is the first.
Ironically called Star Trek.
Yeah.
Wow.
But that said, this is a great movie because I like Star Wars quite a bit. But no, Star Trek 2009, I was really not excited for because I'm not a huge J.J. Abrams fan, or I wasn't at the time. I've grown to appreciate him now. I still think that his movies work in spite of him. He did very great things for this movie. He is a person who's all about character, and the original series was all about character. It didn't really matter what was happening in each episode or in each movie, so long as the characters were working together in unison and all that kind of stuff. And the best movies are the ones that are characters focused.
Yeah.
The ones that don't really focus on character and stuff. Namely, the first movie, which you'll take combat with.
I go into length in describing why maybe it's still valid.
And the fifth movie aren't really character centered or around the original crew. This one is, and this one they get the characters pitch perfect. Every character is just like, bam, that's the character as they would be at age 20-ish. Especially Kirk, especially Spock, and especially McCoy, who I never really had. What?
Oh, McCoy's older than them, right? I think.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it was. So for that, I love the movie. This one had the sense of humor was quite good. It was more of an action-adventure film, which I'm a fan of, I guess. It's weird that that's Star Trek, but whatever. The special effects are just gorgeous.
Oh.
The score is amazing. Oh man, I love the score by Michael Giacchino. And then the only real flaw with this movie is the damn lens flares. Just irritate the shit out of me.
Yeah, they don't. But I mean, they don't stick out for me.
Oh, that's all I see when I see the movie. That said, the performances are great. You get Chris Hemsworth in the beginning as Kirk's father, and he totally just wraps you in. And when I first saw it, I thought he was Kirk. Like, I mean, I didn't. You just hear the name Kirk, and you're like, oh, that's him. This is how he gets control of the Enterprise.
I did think that, from a writer's standpoint, that could have been confusing, and probably a lot of audience members thought what you did.
Yeah, and then I started to piece it together midway through the scene, and I was totally wrapped up in that character emotionally by the time the Enterprise, it wasn't the Enterprise, it was the Celsius or whatever.
Celsius.
The Kelvin.
Might have been the Kelvin.
I think it was the Kelvin. It was some like whatever. It was a measure of temperature. When it blows, like I totally felt it. That was awesome. The mom was great in her like one little scene.
Yeah.
And then Kirk is just so perfect in this movie. He is the best cast out of it. Other people say Spock. He's great. Don't get me wrong, but no, Kirk is just pitch perfect as acting like Shatner, but not parodying Shatner. It's easy to become parody. But he doesn't. He's completely believable, especially the scene where he's eating the apple and stuff like that, doing the Kobayashi Maru, which you actually finally see.
You just went,
yeah.
The scene where, you knew you did that?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Kobayashi Maru scene where he's eating the apple. Yeah. Always referenced in Wrath of Khan and the various other movies. This one you actually see how it happens. And
I thought maybe I don't know, I did think in a way, I mean, it was in fitting with the pace of the movie, but for me, having heard it for so many years, maybe it went by a little quick.
Yeah.
But
again.
it worked with the pace, I mean,
Yeah.
it went with the pacing of the movie, which was quick, I guess.
Yeah, the whole movie's quick. It was nice seeing the origin to Spock a little bit, how his character has always been sort of made fun of for having his human side, and that's why he's so cemented in his Vulcan side. And I liked that aspect of it. I liked Bones, I thought was also perfectly cast.
I'd never seen anything of him until that, and that guy is just likable.
Yeah, if you close your eyes and just listen to him, he sounds just pitch perfect like DeForest Kelly. Like, it's just amazing because he doesn't look too much like him, but it sounds just like him.
Yeah.
And for my money, if they ever remake Batman, which who are we kidding? They're going to. He would be a perfect Batman. Carl
really?
Urban. Yeah.
Why? Just
He just, like, in other movies, not necessarily that one, he's in Red and he's in Lord of the Rings and a couple other movies, he just looks like he'd be the perfect Batman. He looks great in a suit, or he'd be a good James Bond for that matter. He's a New Zealand actor, so he has a very thick Kiwi accent. But anyway, Star Trek.
Star Trek.
Great movie, I'm going to give it 3.5. I also thought the way that they played with time was genius. Like,
Yeah.
you can't really argue against it. Everything that happened before happened, and everything that happens now can happen as well, without conflicting.
I thought, it would be so easy for them to just not acknowledge anything that ever happened before and think that this is the first Star Trek. But in a way, I thought that was like, because there's so many billions of hours of Star Trek movies and episodes, it was a way of saying, we're not going to step all over the fans.
Yeah.
But we're going to start something new, but we're not going to step all over the fans. And I just thought that was just such a great stroke to say, this is something new, but we're not going to.
Yeah, this doesn't interfere with what you love.
But we're going to move forward. It was a perfect way to go backward, start over from being backward without running over anything. It was perfect.
Yeah, it was genius. So I give the movie 3.5 based on that. And you also see other characters like Pike, like the original captain,
that's great.
and you see how he's in the wheelchair in the original series and stuff like that. Like, this is how he gets in the chair in this version of it. And Tyler Perry was the head of the
No frippin' way.
not.
Was he a whore?
No, he was the head of the. It starts with an A. The admiral guy. He was whenever the person who gives Kirk the medal. And
I meant to watch it recently, but I just didn't.
He's the head of the alliance or whatever
He's
you want
that
to call
guy.
it. Yeah. The head of the Federation. Thank you. That's what it was. He's the head of the Federation.
All right.
Which is kind of weird that he's in a movie that's not Medea. And he does a fine job. Apparently he's a huge Star Trek fan. That's why he did it.
That's why he did it.
Oh, and Leonard Nimoy we didn't mention. He bridges the gaps between the two, and he does a great job.
Well, I think, that's like an old master coming back and saying this is how it does, and this is how it's done. And, pretty much all of the little Spock things he says were perfect. Like, something like, someone said something like, does that mean you have to die too, or preferably not, or something like that, and it's just so perfectly Spock.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked that, and the his last little thing where he's talking and he looks down and he's like thrusters on go or something like that, and then on full, and then they cut to the Enterprise as you see it in the original show, where everybody's sort of there doing their bits, and then Kirk comes in and he's just looking all cocky and everything, and he's like bones, and just slaps him on the shoulder, and like that's where all the characters are just so perfect. In unison working together.
And it's like, oh my god, part two, quick. Give me
yeah,
now.
and I was like, we need this now, and luckily, I had to wait like 4 years, but it's coming.
It's coming. One problem I have with the saying farewell to Spock is they do it like twice.
Yeah.
And I thought that was like, because when you see him go say goodbye the first time, you're like, as a fan of the original, you're like, all right, man, see ya. And you're like, that's it, last Leonard Nimoy, and then at the end, he's back again. All right, see ya.
I guess.
So that's a little bit of that's a super small nitpick, but it is kind of like, yeah, it's a valid point. He says goodbye twice. Is it my turn?
Yeah.
When I heard, wasn't this written by like sort of Transformers people or something like that?
Yeah.
When I heard that, I remember saying to you,
Mm-hmm.
like at Prime Video,
Yeah.
that this is gonna be. I said a line. I'll fly, you shoot, you know, or
Yeah.
I'll steer the ship, you shoot, because I knew the special effects were gonna kick ass, but I had no hope for this freaking movie whatsoever. Cut to whenever I see it, and I was like, I think I told you at Prime Video, I said, when, you know, by the time that the title comes up, you're like, you could walk out of the theater, you got your money's worth. I
Yeah, it
couldn't
was
fucking
awesome.
believe it by the time the
Little
title came up. At the very beginning,
Yeah.
I mean, this movie completely, there's so many bleeps and bloops in Star Trek. That's another thing I was worried about, is that, well, how can you do an original, like a pre-original series show? Everything's gotta look stupid. But they did such a great job of paying homage to
Yeah.
that by still making it look, at the time,
Yeah.
modern. And
Yeah.
like I was saying about that opening, was just when I saw that opening, and there's like this long shot of, at the very end of that, right, where it's like you just see the little ships escaping or whatever,
Yeah.
and the big disaster or whatever, and the music that's coming up, and then like I can't remember, does it kind of turn sideways?
Yeah.
The letters turn
Yeah.
sideways, and then can you do the theme? I can't remember the theme. Come on.
I had it in my head earlier.
Oh, nice. Okay.
But you were
gone.
doing the other themes
Oh, okay.
earlier, so that's.
But anyway, the kind of 2009 Star Trek theme comes, and I'm just like, holy shit, it hasn't even started yet, and wow. What did you feel about the introduction of the young Kirk? How did you feel about that?
Oh, you mean like the little kid? I mean, it's fine. I mean,
It was a little.
It was a little kiddie. I mean, as I say, like my problem with J.J. Abrams is he tends to be all about flash
Yeah.
a little bit, which, knock on wood, Star Wars will not be like that.
What do you mean? Oh, you hope
Episode
it.
7.
Right, but I
Yeah.
mean, you said it will not, but you
Yeah.
meant, I hope it's not.
Yeah, I hope it's not like all about the flares and like Star Wars is about super explosions, so he can do his super explosions all he wants. Like he's also known for just big boom. That's what the audience wants, and they want really fast chases and stuff, and that does work for Star Wars. So hopefully he does that right. Lens flares I could do without, but like the only problem I have with that opening scene with the little kid Kirk
Yeah.
is it's in Iowa. Why on earth is there a Grand Canyon in the middle of Iowa?
A lot of people have said that, but if you look at the
It looks like it's
inside of it,
man-made.
It's man-made.
Yeah, but
It's-
why?
Well,
It's-
they're mining ore.
Well, it looks like it's man-made, and people have pointed that out, and I'm like, it's to block off the space station that's right there, like that he drives past later. But the space station, you can drive it, and that dude is on a hover bike. Can't you go over it?
Well, maybe
Like, I mean,
maybe it pushes off.
It
the
doesn't
ground.
make sense. Still, that was lame.
I did think that scene, I don't really particularly, it was a little too flash, but whatever.
Yeah.
I'm nitpicking about dumb shit. One thing I wasn't too keen on, what did you think of, I suppose you loved them, Simon Pegg. I thought that was kind of, I kind of felt like, I kind of felt like it was just an add-on, and they almost could have had saved him for the second one or something. I kind of felt, and I hate his little friend. It's like, what the fuck? Get down from there!
His friend didn't bother me. Simon Pegg I thought was great. The only thing that I didn't like about Simon Pegg, it wasn't him at all, and it wasn't his character. It was just something stupid in the story. Is when he's stuck in the suction.
That
thing.
is, to me, that's cutting room floor time.
Yeah,
I'm just like I like
that'd be a great deleted scene.
the fact that it's someone they played with him getting beamed into a tank was funny, but not. Oh, I gotta follow him around for that was cutting. That was my only complaint with the movie. The other small, super duper complaint is when you first see Leonard Nimoy, and I just giving him any form even of physical movement at that age, even just waving a torch, you could just, I don't know, it just seemed from the back, as soon as you saw that figure walk into the shot, you knew who it was.
I actually didn't.
Oh, really?
That surprised me. Yeah.
Oh, because to me it's just like, I don't know.
They did a good job at concealing
For you?
who he was going to be.
Oh, yeah, the moment his back, because that's how it's introduced,
Yeah.
where it's like that's another thing I don't like, is that monster chase. Just,
Oh, well, it looks like the Cloverfield monster.
yeah, we talked
Like,
about that before.
just
Every-
painted red.
every Abrams monster is just the same thing. So those are super little nitpicks, but
The movie was fun.
I would have almost had a double. I'm just really anal about certain shit. I'm just thinking about that. I would have almost had a double do, because it's his back's to the camera anyway. Double do that so it doesn't look like someone who's 80. But I guess if he is 80, he's 80. That's just my little anal nitpicks. 3.5 stars. I think it just keeps going and keeps going. It's great. And the scene I love is when they're like in the. I think they're in the Enterprise and they eject. I do like that that big ship, what's his name got, and the little thing they lower down and the shoot.
Oh, yeah.
And that scene where they shoot out of it and they're actually.
Yeah.
That's just great, and following the really great action pieces in this movie, and Sulu's got
the cool little fight scene.
Yeah.
Where he's good at fencing from the old show. Which
was another nod. And by doing all those nods, the filmmaker is paying really honest to goodness respect to the original series.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of reviews where obviously a lot of the Trekkies didn't like it. It was probably too modern and flash. I thought it was a perfect blending of what Star Trek is with what it inevitably has to be to be a summer movie now. Yeah, right. Perfect blending of both of them. And
my favorite scene in the movie was cut out. It's in the
you mentioned it.
This is
what review was it?
I can't
P2.
remember. Oh yeah, P2. Yeah, that scene is just so funny.
Isn't that great? How about this? Take out the two guy being Kirk going through the water and put that scene in.
Yeah, right. That is just the funniest thing in the world. That's Kirk at his best too, where that just encapsulates who he is. For the scene.
You should tell them in case they haven't seen the P2 review.
Gayla was the green alien woman he was trying to sleep with towards the beginning of the movie, and he was actually just using her to cheat on the Kobayashi Maru, and then later on in the movie he goes to apologize to her, and he sees her on the ship, and he walks up to her and he's like, look, I'm sorry for using you, this is just not right, it wasn't good of me as a human being, and he just goes on and on and on, and then he's looking at her, and she's looking blankly back at him, and he's like, you're not Gayla, are you? And she just sort of, doesn't she slap him? And then
I don't know.
I think she slaps him, and then he walks away, and I'm like, that's just so Kirk. That was so amazing.
Wasn't that great? I do think some of that goofiness that was kept with getting Kirk onto the ship was kind of funny too.
Oh yeah, with the big hands and stuff.
Yeah, wasn't that great? A little overboard, but overboard maybe in an okay way. It was fun. I mean, people were laughing. So
yeah, I was laughing. I had fun with it.
But before we go out, I have to say, what's her name? What's her name?
Zoe Saldana.
You knew exactly who the hell I was talking about. Her legs in that little, because I think they had she was great in that.
Yeah, she was great.
I'd like to spend some time with her. I mean, that was the first thing I think I really ever seen her in anything, and I just wanted to be Spock. I just wanted to be Spock, basically.
She had a good summer because she did that, and then she did Avatar the same year, and it's because she was the main alien in Avatar, Natiri or whatever.
Oh, E.T., yeah, E.T.
Natiri
or whatever.
Natiri, yeah.
I was at work and I heard someone say Natiri. I think they named their daughter Natiri. How do you think about that?
Weird.
Isn't that weird?
I mean,
I see you. I see you doing that. No, Natiri, I see you.
That's awesome.
Don't play with your food. I see you. But I gotta watch this. I was gonna watch it last night, but didn't want to. But I gotta watch this again just to see her legs, because I think the girls wear kind of like
the super mini skirts.
Yeah, and doesn't she have some kind of boots or something?
Yeah.
She looks really great in that movie.
Yeah. I hope that the style keeps for the second movie too.
I'm pretty damn excited about the second one. I think
the trailers just look great, so we're excited for number 2. We'll have that review coming to you
as soon as we can.
As soon as we can get that up.
What do you think?
I think we're good.
We're done?
Star Trek. 3.5.
3.5 across the board. He's right for once. Just kidding. I'm right for once. We're both right. Thanks for watching.